you guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. I was going to be posting a 1v1 today, but then I remembered just a couple days ago was the start of NBA free agency. If y'all are not into the NBA that much, that's when people or players whose contracts are expiring get the option to either extend it if they have that player option, or they become free agents where they can go to any team they want. If they're a restricted free agent, then their former team has a chance to match or give them an offer too. All that good stuff. So NBA free agency started on Thursday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 5 o'clock Central time. And it's been crazy so far. This has been one of the most interesting off seasons that I've been able to witness this far. Even with this free agency class being so-so, there's been so much drama that I have to cover today, which is why I'm not gonna be posting that 1v1. It will be out on Wednesday, but we just postponed that. I had to cover this. So I'm gonna be grading all of the big NBA free agency moves and events that occurred so far. And it's only been 3 days. So let's get right into that. If y'all don't see this right here, we've got my computer with me labeling all this stuff because I'm a forgetful guy. I forget a lot. So we have that. Let's get right into this. Make sure you sub, hit the bell, post notifications, hit that thumbs up. We hit 10K. Thank y'all so much. 10K subs. I thought I would be hitting that by the end of this year. That was my goal for the year, but we hit it mid-summer, so I want to thank you guys for that. I will be having a giveaway coming soon, actually, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. But let's get right into this video, y'all. Let's go do it. Let's smash this. Let's get it. Let's freaking go. Whew. All right. We have a total of 6 big NBA things. One of them is smaller, but it's important to me. So, number 1, I think this is the biggest thing that has happened during free agency, and it's not even a signing, nor is it a trade. It's that Kevin Durant has requested a trade from Brooklyn. Bro is done with Kyrie's shenanigans. But I think this is the funny part. So, in the morning, on, I think it was Friday morning, Thursday morning, something like that, you see Ben Simmons on the Nets Instagram posting a picture with his face, like a mean mugging, and saying that he feels ready and pumped up for the Nets season. And just a couple hours later, voila, KD requests a trade from Brooklyn. And this is also after hearing Kyrie want out and then somehow opting in. But KD requests a trade. Not only does he request a trade, he has a list of teams that he wants to play for. And that being, he wants the Suns, he wants the Heat, and he wants the Celtics. Now you go think to yourself, what do those 3 teams have in common? Yes, they have all made the finals in the last 3 years. The Heat made it in 2020, lost to the Lakers. The Suns made it in 2021 and lost to the Bucks, and the Celtics made it this year and lost to the Warriors. First of all, why would KD want to go to all the teams that are losing? I don't know. If I'm gonna ring chase, I'd want to go to a big team. Honestly, I just go back to the Warriors. He has no shame at this point, publicly requesting to go to a contender. If you have no shame in that, I'd honestly request a trade to the Warriors. That's just me. But yes, he requested a trade along with Kyrie. I'm giving this grade an F. I'm giving it an F because FKD. Why are you being, you went to the Nets, right? You went to the Nets because you wanted to win a ring on your own. You wanted to prove all the haters wrong, right? Not only did you do that, you got Kyrie to come along with you and James Harden. That blew up. That is probably the biggest failure in NBA history. You had Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. I think they played a total of 13 games together, something like that. in their 2 years. And, James Harden left, and now Kyrie wants out, and Durant wants out too. So you're blowing the whole thing up. You get an F. You get an F. What are you doing? Second biggest move, this ties in, I already said it. Kyrie wants out. Where does Kyrie want to go to? Oh, he wants to go back with LeBron and play with the Lakers. Now, here's the thing. Kyrie opted in for, I think, $47 million for an extra year in Brooklyn. What does this mean? How are they going to get him there to the Lakers? Because I know for a fact, we've seen it, Kyrie will sit out if needed. He's going to force his way to the Lakers. Kind of what like Ben Simmons did to the 76ers trying to get to play with Brooklyn. But the thing is here, what do the Lakers have to offer? The Lakers have Westbrook. They definitely would give him up for Kyrie. And they have Talen Horton-Tucker, who they've been pushing to trade, but no one wants him. And they have a 2027 first-round pick. It's 2023, y'all. Whoever gets that pick is gonna be waiting 3 years. That's pretty much it. For Kyrie, do the Nets accept it? If you're the Nets GM and you accept this trade from Westbrook, THT, and the 2027 pick, you need to be fired. Not only do you need to be fired, you need to be checked into a mental hospital if you accept this trade right here. There is no trade. I actually don't think there's a trade that the Lakers can put together that will balance it out for Kyrie. I know Kyrie has his troubles. I know Westbrook has his troubles, but I'm still taking Kyrie right now over Westbrook right now. That's it. That's just me. At least when Kyrie plays, he shows up. Westbrook plays and doesn't show up. So that's that. If the Lakers want to get Kyrie, I'm pretty sure they're going to have to package AD or something. And even then, if I'm the Nets GM, I don't know if I want that. Because what is it? AD plays like 20% of the games every year, basically trading someone who doesn't play, Kyrie, for someone who doesn't play with AD and a brickmaster in Westbrook and another brickmaster in THT and a fourth grader right now in the 2027 pick. So let's say that trade goes through. What would I grade that? I would grade that an F- for the Nets and grade that an A+ for the Lakers. If the Lakers can finesse that, props to them. Props to the Lakers for finessing that. Even if you have to give up AD. You give up an injury-prone player. Like, let's remember, Kyrie, wow, my bad. Kyrie did not play just because of his vaccine situation. In California, where I live, it's pretty open now. The COVID situation has gone down. People don't even really care for that much anymore down here. So Kyrie would pretty much be able to play all games, except for some away games. I think it was Toronto and Brooklyn. He could have even played there. So, he could play home games and he could do all that stuff. So if you're the Lakers and you get that trade for Kyrie, big W. Any trade package that the Nets get from the Lakers is an L. That's an F. That's all I'm saying. Kyrie wants out. The fact that Kyrie wants out is I don't even know how I would grade. That's just an L for Kyrie. What? Why? You came to play with KD and you leave. Not only do you leave, but you abandon him mid-season. And that's that. Number 3, and I think this is the biggest trade so far. Gobert to Minnesota. The Timberwolves get Rudy Gobert. That's it. Timberwolves get Gobert, so he'll be paired up with Cat and Anthony Edwards. And then the Jazz get Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Walker Kessler, and Jared Vanderbilt and also 4 first-round picks. Now, the Jazz clearly are trying to rebuild now. This is the end of the Gobert and Donovan Mitchell era. And, going back to last year, we saw the tensions rise between Donovan Mitchell and Gobert. Didn't look like they wanted to play together. It didn't look like it worked well together. We saw it didn't work well together. Time after time, they would choke in the playoffs, and that's that. Honestly, I am so glad Gobert did not go to the Bulls. Seeing what the Timberwolves had to give up in order for the Jazz to give up Gobert, I think if he went to the Bulls, we would have had to give up LaVine or DeRozan. That's insane. I would not. Who wins this trade here? Let's be honest. It's the Jazz. The Jazz swindled 4 first-round picks, technically 5 because they got their first-round pick from this year, and then they got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, and Jared Vanderbilt. Walker Kessler was their first-round pick from this year, who they finessed. Malik Beasley, a solid defender. Patrick Beverley, another solid defender. And Jared Vanderbilt, a solid role player. We saw that last year as well. The Jazz, I've seen a lot of people saying free Mitchell. I think the Jazz are doing the right thing. We saw their head coach, Quinn Snyder, walk away from the job this summer, and now they're planning on rebuilding. I think Gobert is a waste of space, and I think he is a playoff choker. Coming from a Bulls fan, trust me, I know what a playoff choker is, and he is one. I'm giving the Timberwolves a D+ for trading for Gobert, and I'm giving the Jazz a B for swindling those picks. Those picks are going to be very, very, very valuable when trying to build around Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's still young. He is still young. He's got a lot of time, and if he wants to stay with the Jazz, I think they've got a big chance of doing something great over there, especially if they can land some solid pieces with those first-round picks, especially with, Patrick Beverley's getting old, Beasley, and then you have Vanderbilt. Those are solid players, Walker Kessler, solid players who can hold down the fort for now as you rebuild and gain those picks in future years. Moving on, we have the Knicks signing Jalen Brunson. I don't even want to say how much they signed him for because it hurts my heart to even see this man get signed for that much. $104 million contract is what the Knicks signed Brunson for. Not only did they sign him for $104 million, but they gave up Kemba Walker, Nerlens Noel, Jalen Duren, who is their pick from this year, Alec Burks, 2 picks and $6 million. Knicks, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know Jalen Brunson's good. I'm a Mavs. I like the Mavs. I love Luka. I've said that constantly. I love the Mavs. But Jalen Brunson for $104 million? Really? I don't think he's a franchise player. I really don't. The funny thing too is all of those things they gave up were to the Pistons. So the Pistons took basically half or a quarter of the Knicks roster for free, and they got paid to do it. They literally got paid to do it for $6 million. They got paid $6 million for that, and they get free picks and 4 players. What the hell? What are the Knicks? If the Knicks think Jalen Brunson is this good, I can't imagine what they think of Luka, how much they would pay to get Luka. You're paying $104 million for Brunson. Imagine if Luka said, I want to go to the Knicks. I bet you right now, the GM would clear 8 players right now. Clear 8 players and sign Luka for the biggest contract in NBA history of $400 million. The Knicks GM should be fired on the spot. The Knicks have been poverty since Carmelo Anthony. Even with Carmelo's last years, they were poverty. They are still poverty. Years later, when Carmelo was on the Knicks. The last time the Knicks were good or relevant was Linsanity. So to see them still doing this is sad. I feel bad. I think I could walk in to the Knicks GM spot, sit down in his chair, make a few calls, and form a roster that is better than this Knicks roster right here, or at least get a better deal than just giving away my players for $104 million to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, y'all. The Pistons get an A+, obviously. They got $6 million for free and 4 players with 2 picks. The Knicks, signing Jalen Brunson for $104 million, get a D-. One of the worst signings of the offseason. Lastly, the Warriors have lost like 5 players. They have lost Gary Payton, they have lost Bjelica, they have lost Otto Porter, they have lost Damian Lee, and Juan Toscano-Anderson. Gary Payton went to the Blazers, signed a deal with them. I think it was like a 3-year deal, something like that. Bjelica went back to Turkey to go play there. Otto Porter went to the Raptors on a deal, and Damian Lee went to the Suns on a deal, and Juan Toscano-Anderson went to the Lakers on a deal. Let's break down each one of these. Gary Payton, great player, great defensive, solid piece for the Warriors, helping them win that chip. Big piece there. Signed with the Blazers. He deserves it. Congrats to him. Given the Blazers, you know, that's a nice A for both sides, actually. Both sides get an A. Bjelica went back to Turkey. The Warriors just can't do anything about that. That's just, I'm not even going to grade that. Otto Porter goes to the Raptors. That's a big loss for the Warriors, to be honest. Big loss. Though I know the Warriors did get DiVincenzo, but Otto Porter was great. Otto Porter was great. That's a huge loss for the Warriors, by the way. Damian Lee goes to the Suns. W for the Warriors, L for the Suns. Damian Lee is not good. I genuinely think he was the reason why he was on the Lakers roster is because he Steph Curry's sister. That's it. And lastly, Juan Toscano-Anderson goes to the Lakers. Solid pickup for the Lakers. You know, they're finally getting the memo that they need to pick up younger guys. So, you know, that's a good job. And the Warriors have lost almost all of their role players from this year. So their championship team is thinning. They've got DiVincenzo now. That's it. The Warriors taking an L. But I know why they're doing this. They're doing this so they can pay Wiggins, and they're doing this so they can pay Poole. Because Poole is going to be a hot name in the next year or so, whenever his contract expires. And the Warriors are going to have to dump some salary in order to sign him for a big deal. So that's straight up. That's honestly strategic move by the Warriors. Not even really a rebuild. I'm sure you can find a lot of other players like those guys that they lost. You know, Bjelica was just a three-point sniper. He did play some defense in the finals. Gary Payton was just a defensive player. You can find that in the NBA. Otto Porter was like a 3-and-D player. You can find that all over. Juan Toscano-Anderson, same thing, just a defensive player. Damian Lee just clapped on the bench. So the Warriors doing a great job. I understand why they let those players walk, and you know, the reason is valid. Poole is a great player. I mess with him. I think he's a great, solid piece for this Warriors team and will be for years to come because, you know, let's be honest, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay are getting old. So basically this is passing the torch to Jordan Poole for the next couple of years, for the years after Steph leaves, Klay leaves, Draymond exits the league too. So an A for the Warriors and an A for all those other teams for picking those players up. I actually think the Blazers are looking solid this year. The Raptors have always been looking solid, and gaining Otto Porter is great. The Suns getting Damian Lee, again, I'm not fond of him. And then the Lakers getting Juan Toscano-Anderson, great pickup for them. That's it. So far, those are the biggest trades and biggest moves of NBA free agency. that's going to wrap it up, y'all. That's going to wrap it up. So, thank y'all for watching. I'm going to be posting another 1v1 on Wednesday or Thursday this week, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be like a challenge 1v1, not like an actual 1v1. I know you guys like those, so make sure you sub. Again, make sure you hit the bell for post notifications, hit that thumbs up. Till next time, y'all, deuces.